You are in line at the grocery store. In front of you is a nice old lady, very sweet, counting quarters and her change before she gets to the teller. Behind you is a huge, big, muscle-bound guy that looks intimidating, very quiet, looking at his phone. And maybe behind him, there's a pretty girl that you've always wanted to talk to. Imagine being able to strike up a conversation with each one of them and all of them walking away saying, wow, that guy is absolutely a genuine fun guy to be around. What is up? It's Dean Soto. And you know, I didn't know what to talk about today. And I was thinking of all these different business things to discuss. But ultimately, one of the things that has been so helpful to me was being able to talk to anybody who I wanted. And this has been levels and levels and levels and levels throughout my life that has gotten me to into a lot of different places. So, you know, growing up, I was a very shy kid. When I was smaller, I was really, really outgoing and did not care what anyone thought. I would talk to anybody. But then when I got into the teenage years, I became extremely shy. It was hard for me to talk to anybody. And the only people that I really connected with were people who were in my class that maybe were, it's funny, it really depended on who they were, if they were super nice or if they were maybe the goth kids who kept to themselves or anything like that. I could really connect with them. But ultimately, I was very shy. If anybody were to really look at the insides of what I was thinking, it was very self-sabotaging, and it was very hard for me to come out of that shell and to do the things that I wanted to do and speak to people that I wanted to speak to. So all that being said, it was it was very hard for me to have a lot of different opportunities come because I wasn't that outgoing person, right? You know, fast forward to college, that's when I really started having to come out of my shell, meeting new people all of the time. I didn't have when you go and go to different college classes, you had to find literally new cliques of people every single time you went to a new class, right? And so you're constantly having to meet people. And even then, I was really, really shy. Over the decades, there was always something within me that would stop me, butterflies in my stomach, talking to people who I really wanted to talk to, or I would be intimidated by guys who were much bigger than me. I would be obviously intimidated by the opposite sex. I was very shy. In fact, my wife, we spent, I think it was almost 3 months kind of looking at each other back and forth at church before I even made a move. It was really that bad when it came to my confidence in talking with people. And so how did I overcome that and then start building a multinational Inc. 5000 fastest growing company business in 2022? How did that happen? How is it that I'm able to speak with really high level people and get to where I am now? Well, it was not easy. A lot of it came from trial and error, but I didn't really want to talk about that aspect. What really has been a game changer is actually what's happened in the last, I would say, year and a half. And that is just building confidence in general in a way where where the real true self is able to come out. So all this time, even when for decades of being married to my wife, being in the military, getting deployed, coming back out, becoming an entrepreneur, all those things, there was always a mask, a feeling that I had a mask on, that I couldn't truly be myself. If I went to go and sell and talk with somebody or sell a product or service or whatever, there was still like this mask of that's not really me. And if I show who I really am, nobody's gonna like me. And it wasn't really until the last, crazy enough to think about, that despite all that success, it wasn't really until the last 1.5 years that I was finally able to break out of my shell. And had I known then what I know now, I would be probably Grant Cardone level. And I'm not saying that in a prideful way, but I was running a business with, I was basically driving a car with my foot on the gas and on the brake at the same time. And while it was moving forward, it wasn't moving forward nearly as fast as it could be. And I will show you what the old me looked like in just a little bit. But how do you be more confident? How do you grow in confidence to be able to speak and do the things that you want to do? Well, first things first, and this is not going to be popular. I'm not the first one to say this, but this really helped me. And I did not really see this as part of this until I joined a thing called Married Game from Keith Yackey. So Keith Yackey runs a program called Married Game. It is absolutely amazing. It works wonders. And one of the things he has in there is that you need to be the best version of yourself. Now, another YouTuber named Hamza basically says that, look, you cannot be confident if you are not physically attractive. So as a man, you cannot have confidence if you're not physically attractive. And that might sound shallow. That might sound a little bit, I guess, old school way of thinking, but it's true. And while I was making very decent amount of money, doing really, really well, and able to support a large family with a thriving business, I was not inwardly confident, and I never could understand why. And part of that was because of this right here. Let me see if this is it, actually. I'm pretty sure that's it. All right, this. Hey, what's up, everyone? Dean Soto with ProSulam.com. So that is me. Let me see if I can grab this. So that is me. Crazy enough to think about and to see. That is the guy. I don't know where I'm going to put him. Anyway, that's me. And if you look at that guy, is he somebody that looks confident? Is he somebody that looks like he can lead himself? He can lead a family, he can lead kids, he can lead men, he can lead hundreds of people around the world. In fact, thousands of people around the world now. Is that somebody who looks capable? Not really, right? And so physically, I was not confident because there was literally, when our physical bodies are a representation of what is going on internally, you know. And so you have this guy who has a neck beard, who has not keeping up his looks whatsoever. I had really big man boobies and overweight. I think at this time I was 215 pounds at 5'11", but it was all chubbiness. And it took everything in me to be able to even run a business because my confidence was so low. So number one is you definitely have to be physically fit. Start going to so I started going to do jujitsu again, and then I started weightlifting. Once you start building mass, it's just inevitable that you're going to gain more respect from both the male and female side. You're going to gain more attraction from both as well. In fact, today at the gym, it was funny. I was doing just stretching out. Today was my rest day, so I was like doing dead hangs on the pull-up bar and just stretching and everything like that. And a guy that was next to me, he looked at me. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then went and fist bumped me and like basically was like saying, "Hey, dude, like, you know, I want to be like you." But then we had a conversation and everything like that. I get that a lot, where there was a point where I was chubby, and then I went to being skinnier, and then I went to being bigger. And there was a point, I don't know when it was, but there was a point when people were like, "Whoa, dude, flex those pecs," where guys, for whatever reason, were like expecting. I don't know why. I'm not super big, but it's like big enough, right? Nothing like where I'm like ripped, but it's, you know, big enough. So no more man boobies. I can shake them. But it was to the point where I could not be confident because I would have that type of stuff happen all the time. And that's what I want for you, right? So getting physically fit. The next thing is producing. You have to start producing. You have to start doing something on the side, making more money than other men around you. The more that you accomplish, that first sale that you make, it can be for anything. Maybe you're fixing someone's computer. Maybe you are cleaning out a garbage can. But first time you make your own money, like $10, $15, $100, whatever, it gives you so much confidence. So number 2 is you have to start producing. You have to be somebody who has the capability of producing, because by default, if you have a boss over you and they are the one who's providing for you, it's going to be very hard to be ultra confident and to grow in that confidence out feeling like, oh, I have a boss. I'm essentially this guy's bitch, right? So you have to start producing. Okay. Great people out there, lots of places that you can go to find out how to start your own business. There's First Man, there's Hamza, there's literally hundreds of different places. Alex Becker is a great he's no nonsense when he's talking about how to start something and how to build or invest or whatever. He's one of the best guys to listen to because he's absolutely no nonsense when it comes to it and will not bull crap you whatsoever. So dude, you got to start producing, and it's going to suck, but in 3 to 5 years, if I said in 3 years, if you just worked hard and did not worry about what exactly you were going to do, but you did something to produce, did something to make money, and in 3 years you will be financially free. You will not have a boss. You'll be confident. You'll be able to go to the gym whenever you want. You are going to get more, like if you're not married, you're going to get more women. You're going to find your soulmate. You're going to get married. You're going to do all that. If you are married, you're going to have a thriving marriage. You're going to have more time with your kids, more time with your wife, and so on. Your wife's going to respect you more and admire you. If I told you that, would you? But I also told you that it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to figure things out. You're going to have to sacrifice Netflix, Hulu. You're going to have to sacrifice going to the movies all the time, having your weekends and everything like that. But you will have absolute freedom in 3 years. Would you do it? If the answer is yes, then you need to start producing now, because that is what's going to happen. Okay? So start. The last thing is that there are more things, but ultimately you want to dial in. This is another Keith Yackey thing, which I love. You have to start dialing in the player dial. So the first one was kind of more on the fitness when I was talking about. Then you have the producing, and then you have the player dial, which is you need to look the part. You need to look good. I get a haircut every 2 weeks. I actually went to multiple barbers to find an amazing barber. I get a haircut every 2 weeks. I actually dye my hair because I've always had these gray hair things on the side. Even when I was in my late 20s, they were starting to show. I got Invisaligns here. I had like a tooth that would pop out here, and so I'm like, I'm gonna get braces. I'm gonna make sure my teeth are straight. I shave now, obviously, which you guys seen. Remember the guy back here? That guy right there did not shave. Look at that. Crazy, yeah? There are things that you can do to look better, to look like you're taken care of, that you're well groomed, smelling good. I'm always having cologne on, or deodorant, obviously, smelling good, making yourself look more confident, standing up straight with your shoulders back. Your fitness will help with that, especially things like dead hangs. You're just hanging from the bar. It's going to correct that bend, so you're not like this, sitting down all the time and your shoulders aren't in. You're going to be more like this because you're doing all those dead hangs and you're just hanging there, right? You know. So becoming that guy who takes care of himself, because You are so important. You are the biggest asset that you have. The more that you're able to take care of yourself, the more that you're able to present yourself well, you're producing, you're fit, you present yourself well, you're constantly learning and growing and everything like that, you are going to naturally start to become more confident. It's not going to be overnight, but I noticed when I really took this in a year and a half ago, it was about, I want to say it took about 6 to 8 months for me to realize, holy crap, I'm not even used to being like this, being this confident. And I had to actually adjust. When I have people who who actually want to talk to me, who don't think I'm creepy, when virtually every single person I say hi to says hi back and wants to start a conversation, not everybody, of course, but virtually everybody, there was a point where it was cognitive dissonance, but it's only because of all those things, those 3 things: becoming as fit as possible, producing, and becoming that player, the guy who looks good, who actually cares about himself. Those things will make you confident, and eventually that outer, the inner will follow the outer, and then also the outer will follow the inner, both. Okay. All right. The more that you improve the outside, the inside's going to be better, and then the inside's going to help the outside as well. Okay. So if you want to be more confident, those 3 things, start with those three things. 3 years, you'll have freedom. 1 year, you're going to be ripped. Okay. And then right away, you can start looking good. You can start smelling good. You can take some body language courses, things like that. All things that I've done to become a better presenter. If you look at the old video, very different, not just in looks, but in how I move in my body and everything like that. Okay. So you can do it. That's how you become more confident. It's the first steps. Of course, there's other things you can do, but those are the first easy steps. You can do it. It's very possible. And I know that you can be that confident person that you desire.